on. Envy, are we live? I'm not gonna curse. I love that skit. Anybody that knows me knows that I love that little spiel. So, episode 41 of Inside the Rap Studio. I had a quick little snafu with like not connections, but like actual in studio stuff. So now that we're back in, we're gonna be flowing and going. I have a great interview so far with JerMari. Told us a very interesting origin story of how like everything got started. So essentially, what happened was one of the teacher assistants had every student write the rhymes, and his was the one that caught his eye, and he made him repeat it in front of teachers and stuff. So I think that was a really cool moment. We're about to cover some things, such as True Serum, the pretty much, hey guys, I'm going to start waving at people before we get like busy and I can't really interact with you folk. But yeah, we're going to get into a few things. We're about to start talking about Truth Serum, the latest the timing. I was just about to mail you, bro. Go ahead and send the requests. All right. Speaker still works. Oh, that's cool. Waiting for. It says that I'm waiting for you. I don't know if it's like a connection thing. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, we're back on episode 41 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Swayze, and today we have the very wonderful guest of JerMari. Thank you again for joining me for today, for answering these tough, hard-hitting questions, and for your patience through the studio setup. So the album we were going to talk about was True Serum, a trap opera. You described how essentially you took the same format of the classical play, which is the 5-act structure. First of all, thank you for actually bringing theater into hip-hop. I think we really need that.
There's no problem.
Whenever I do the whole like scores Swayze shtick, and like, a lot of the times when I throw some like film stuff or some TV stuff or some theater stuff, and it kind of goes over the head. And now that I actually see somebody that actually uses it and knows what they're talking about, I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yo, we can link up on something like that sometime. I'm a big like film person, bro. I'm big on it. Like we can do that.
I have ideas. Please don't tell me this, because I will literally. This will be my focus for the next weeks.
And all right, just let me know. You know how I go. Just hit me up, bro.
Absolutely. So the first song I wanted to talk to you about from True Serum was 6 Pounds, which we spoke on. Could you tell us how this song came about for you conceptually and artistically?
All right. Conceptually,
what you can tell, because I'm pretty sure you had a little like a shake up about it, but like
yeah. I can like walk you through it. So like right there, like it's midnight, got a phone call talking about certain stuff that is discussed in the song. And you know, I was on the phone with my other mans and he was talking about what it is. And basically my mans came up on a certain amount of marijuana, and he had hit me up and was like, do you want to move some of that shit? And I was like, hell yeah. Like I'd flipped some shit before.
Now,
so I was like, well,
if there's a case pending, I do not want you to tell this story because I do not want to be brought up in court. Is there a case?
Nah, we good.
All right, continue. We're good.
But you good for that. I wouldn't be talking about it if I did. But yeah, basically, so my man hit me up, said if you want, move a certain amount, go ahead, let me know. I was like, all right, whatever. That certain amount ended up being 6 pounds, but I ain't had no place to put it. Like at this point in time, like I ain't really have a car. I ain't have like a spot to stay in. You know what I'm saying? Like I was living on a dorm. I had some before that I was moving around, but it was never like that much. I don't know if anybody else has ever come across 6 pounds of that shit, but that shit stink. Yeah. So like basically I ain't really had no place to put it. I ain't know people coming in and out of the dorm too. I lived in a suite and I trust my roommates, but then you bringing people through too that like I don't know, and then they might smell some shit. somebody start talking, and that's all it takes. So it's one thing. Campus security and stuff like that is already tripping like about people being over at certain times and shit like that. So I was like, man, I was down for it 100%. Ready to do that shit. I just needed a place to keep it. And my man's ain't have a place for him to keep it either because he was just transitioning. So I had to let that shit drop. I was mad as shit because like me and my man's definitely running the numbers on that shit. Like 'cause I had 6 and he had 6. So we had 12 total. And I was like, man, we definitely could have came up.
I'm going to be completely honest with
Like
you.
definitely came up. That shit definitely had me like, man, what the fuck?
This is definitely the first time where an interview has kind of felt a little Vlad TV-ish. It's like a moment. It's like one of those, like, if I want to talk about the artist, I want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, the art. And sometimes life spills into the art and the art spills into the life. So I do appreciate the transparency that he should actually talk about something like this. It's just so I had to tell you, like, that's why before you continue, I'm like, is there a case pending? I do not want to, like, I don't want to, like, stand on no trial, no nothing.
Nah, we straight, bro.
All right, we good. Okay, episode 4.
Hey, yo, you said Vlad TV, though. That's funny as shit. That is hilarious.
I be trying, like, I really be trying, like, handle these interviews with kid gloves. I'm not a fucking journalist.
But Vlad really be like knowing shit, and it's like, yo, how the fuck did you know that? Like they be in the mid interview. Me and my mans be talking about this. They be in mid interview, like who told you that shit? Like how did you even know that happened?
Like bad Narwhal. That's what it is. It's a bad
No, facts.
Narwhal did it like in high school. Like, yeah, I used to run track and play the trumpet. Yeah. Vlad brings up the last case pending that's on you, and like,
no facts, bro.
Like, I feel like I'm on Stan when I watch like Vlad TV. I feel like I'm on Jury. I don't like.
Yeah. Like he's talking about shit where it's like, this about to get anybody in trouble, bro.
Shit.
Funny as shit.
I'm gonna give a few shout outs to everybody that's walking in the building right now. Shouts out to Cakes. Shouts out to They Love K. KLA always showing love. Shouts out to Jay Lexus. Shouts out to Beth Banger. Beth Banger just recently dropped a project, Hard Fire. It's all on all streaming sites. Please go check that out. Who else we got in the building?
I might have to check that out.
Peace, Russie. Oh, huge shouts out to Russie. Actually, now that we're on the subject, tomorrow's episode, we're not going to feature Bobby Woody. He had to pull out. So the gracious, the most, like, the guy, Uncle Russie, we're going to have him on tomorrow. Huge shouts out to Russie. Thank you very much for your patience. And thank you for even your, like, graciousness to even take on an interview literally 24 hours in. So huge thanks to you.
No, that's tough.
Also, thanks to Nayapaya. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Fellowship. Yo, cause like some people just got different pronunciations, and I hate being that white stuff.
No, her name is Nia. That shit is funny as shit though. Like, cause for a second I didn't know who that was, and I looked, I was like, oh no, I know exactly. I feel like
yelling behind the screen, and I don't want to witness that. All right, so shouts out, of course, Ricky Jacobs. Shouts out to It's a Magnifique. I'm just not reading today. Maya Rain, Title D King, Nadagi. Yeah, Nadagi. There you go. I'm just really just not reading today. So
people fuck my name up all the times. It's all good.
I have a difficult name myself, and I feel like I betray others when I mispronounce things.
I be feeling the same way, yo. I be feeling the same way.
I don't like it. But yeah, back on subject with the questions of not just 6 pounds, not just True Serum. And I also wanted to talk about production, but I really want to talk about theater because you really piqued my interest when you did the whole breakdown of that. So how did you, kind of been inspired to involve theatrics within your music? Because I feel like theatrics in music is dead. You had a recent project that just dropped, Alfredo, huge shouts out to Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. And I listened to it, and I was really thinking, like, there's no more theatrics, there's no more story, there's no more dialogue throughout the entire project. Not one song, but the entire project.
Yeah.
So how do you, how do you structure that within your music? And two, what inspires you to even have those theatrics within your music?
I think you got to structure it within your music. Well, I structure it within my music just in the sense of, I don't know. I think music should paint a picture for you. Although while it should like be sonically pleasing to your ears, it should create like a landscape in your head. And to that point, I feel like when you create a landscape that is to a musical piece, you are doing theater. Like you are like kind of making your own kind of film in a sort of sense. You just creating like a film in people's heads. Like um so that's kind of why I structure it like that. And then that just comes from just my love of like movies. Like if you know me or you come over to like my crib, like in my room, like I got a movie library and shit. Like over like I'm still collecting these joints, but I got like over 200 of them joints. Like I just love film. I just appreciate movies from any era, from like the 40s all the way up to like right now. Like I just think there's a I guess you could say a certain lost art to storytelling, like in sort of a sense. And like I just appreciate a good plot and a good story and a good dialogue. And that's why like a lot of the stuff that I rap about is real personal, or for the most part stuff that people can relate to, or has to do with something that happened to me if it didn't outright happen to me already. Um so that's how you get true serum. Like and that's why it's broken up into those different acts like that.
Gotcha, gotcha. So the next song I wanted to talk to you about is kind of on the personal side because of like
Yeah.
and things like that. It's the song 26.2, pretty much the marathon. And I
Mm-hmm.
saw you perform this the first time that I saw you perform or ever, which was Afterwork Volume 2. Huge shouts out to Working Title, by the way. Great guys. Um, so with 26.2, can you tell the audience what inspired just the writing of the song and just giving it out to the people?
Nipsey Hussle inspired it to me. Like Nipsey Hussle 100% is like one of my favorite rappers and musicians. Um, him and Mac Miller are very, very important to me. There are other artists that are very important to me too. But I'm just naming those two because they died. Rest in peace. But it came about because me and my mans had just been like talking about a lot of like Nipsey centered stuff. Victory Lap had just came out. We was both talking about like, oh yo, did you see Nipsey drop something? And he was like, yeah. We was just talking about how great Victory Lap was, the run that Nip was going on, and stuff that he had started to do for his community. He had just did like an interview with CBS talking about where he came from and how he got to this point. Puma was with it. And then you just like are at home and you log on. Well, I log on to Twitter and I see like that, yo, Nipsey Hussle is like shot, or who they thought was Nipsey Hussle at first. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, chill out. Like, that shit not funny. And then like as time goes on, you see like, oh no, nah, like that was really him. And that shit kind of like fucked me up. Like, and it was like, damn, like this is somebody that I look up to, or at least inspires me. And I felt like they got taken away from the world when they were doing just things on some bullshit, personally. And in that moment, I had a lot of feelings, and I felt like what Nipsey had been talking about in his music and what he used to preach in schools to different kids and different places he would go is basically pushing forward and not quitting. He talks about how the reason why he made it to where he is not because he's that much better than anybody else. He just didn't quit and he kept pursuing his dreams and he had a clear goal of what that is. And a big theme of his was the marathon. And a marathon is something that is run by not just one person, but multiple people over a course of 26.2 miles. And he had his Victory Lap album come out as his debut, and that represented that he had ran his marathon. It's almost poetic. Like he ran his marathon, does his Victory Lap, and then passes on. Almost like he's passing the Olympic torch on to the rest of the runners to be able to keep the marathon going. And that's where the 26-2 title comes in, because it's like I want to also along, and I know I'm not the only one. I know you, other rappers, other people, period, like that know know Nipsey, and then even if you didn't, like, it's just that idea of that what he embodied. Other people that don't even know him have that idea that he embodied. To me, that is the essence of the marathon. So it just, you keep the marathon going, the marathon continues. So that's why I did that. Homage to him, homage to somebody that really made me feel like I could do something with my craft, and homage to somebody that inspired me. And I want to let the world know that he inspired me and that he can inspire you too. And, you know, you're not forgotten.
Absolutely. First of all, huge rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. A very big impact on the community from last year. I mean, not to editorialize, because honestly, I feel like a lot of the times I do too much editorializing, but I feel like it's appropriate, especially in times of now. With people like Nipsey Hussle, you know, especially from like last year after the death happened, like a lot of pretty much like black thought went into the community, not just like in terms of, you know, how to handle economics, how to handle political ideals, but how to handle each other, you know, just the interpersonal, I guess, connection we had with each other that doesn't have anything to do with dating, that has nothing to do with money or whether you have a goddamn like GPA or PhD or whatever the case. It's just
Yeah.
that. And I feel like within the human experience that gets lost a lot. So the one thing that really inspires me with Nipsey is just really connecting back with people. So like a lot of the times, like especially like last year where I was just like shut off and don't really want to talk to people until like I had to start working. And that kind of just taught me that that's not the way, not just as a rapper, but as a human being, we're social beings. So
Mm-hmm.
interpersonal connection is very important. So I learned a lot of that from Nipsey. Rest in peace, Nipsey. Huge shouts out to Nipsey.
That's tough.
To you for that amazing tribute. So like, yeah, like huge love for that, man. So I'm gonna give, of course, I gotta give a few shout outs to everybody that's coming in the building. Shouts out to
100%.
King Bond. Shouts out to LB, L Busy in the building, my guy. Shouts out to Rain Days BWR. Shouts out to, I'm not gonna pronounce it. I'll let you pronounce it since you know her.
Where we at?
Either Nia or Naya, I don't know.
Oh, Nia. Yeah.
All right, shouts out Nia. Huge shouts out Nia. All right, so episode 41 of Inside the Rapper Studio, JerMari. I want to talk to you about your project, Romulus. First of all, I'm very intrigued by like history. I'm like fucking history Hank. Like I just love to like learn about what they tell us what happened back in the day. Uh,
Yeah.
so I wanted to get your insight of not just the story of Romulus, but the story of you making Romulus.
Which do you want first?
It's up to you. Dealer's choice.
All right. I mean, my insight on the story of Romulus, as I understand it, is, you know, you got these two twins. They born in the woods or left in the woods. They raised by wolves. You know, this one wolf raises them. They badasses. They hard as shit. You know what I'm saying? And they grow up to be like these tough ass motherfuckers that's raised by wolves, and ain't nobody fucking with them. And then eventually they get into a skirmish between each other, like, yo, who really about to be like, I mean, when you think about wolves, there can only be one alpha male in the pack. Like, Romulus and his twin brother Remus get into it, and it's like, all right, who gonna be the winner? And Romulus kills Remus. I don't know if that was before they founded Rome or after. Nah, actually, no, it is before, because Rome is named after Romulus. So it's before Rome is founded. They fight. Romulus kills him. Then Romulus goes on to create his empire, or the founder of the empire, which is Rome, named after Romulus, and thus the rest is history, as we all know. The reason I call my shit Romulus is because I feel like I am Romulus in a sense. Like, I don't have an empire yet, but I'm in the middle of making one that I feel like will stand the test of time, that people gonna remember, know about. So I am Romulus, and I am building my own Rome. And True Serum was me telling my truth. Romulus is me staking my claim. And how it came about is just like I was sitting at the crib, And to be quite honest, I seen all of y'all dropping shit. like like after I dropped True, like when I dropped True Serum at that time, I kind of was the only one that kind of dropped at that point. And then right after that, everybody else stuff was dropping left and right. And then everybody was sitting, and I'm just sitting there at the house, kind of like, yo, it's kind of been a while, and I'm competitive, so I'm like, yo, it's kind of been a while since I put shit out. Like everybody shit was dropping, like, and I was like, shit, like I need to put at least a single out or something. So I may stick to the code and I put that shit out. And then when I may stick to the code, I just got in the headspace of just making a whole bunch of other tracks too. And eventually all of them kind of sounded, I won't say the same, but they had similar vibes where they could go together. And I showed it to my mans, and he was like, yo, like, what is this for? Like, and I was like, I mean, nothing. Like, it was just like a collection of tracks I had just made. And he was like, no, yo, this is tough. Um, I think you should make a project out of this. And I was like, all right, maybe, like, I don't really know, like, we'll see. And then I played it back a couple of times and I fucked with it. So that's kind of how not even kind of, that is how Romulus came about. It wasn't exactly supposed to be anything, but I had been in my bag after watching everybody else do their thing. And I was like, no, like, I always tell people, like, I compare music to hoops. So I
Oh,
see everybody else hooping and shit. I'm like, yo, I'm trying, like just because I made a couple, like, threes before, I can shoot again, bro. Like, what's
right.
up? So, that's basically all it was. So I just got in the lab and just was making music, and it just all flowed out very cohesively. Shout out my guy Nishi right here in the comments. He is the producer that made W4. That's track 6 on Romulus. So it's just ironic that the beat that he gave me just fit the vibe that I've been on in and of itself too. So everything just really just blended together at the perfect time. If you haven't played Romulus, go check it out. It's a little different than True Serum in the sense that it's still lyrical, like it's still myself, but like from a sonical standpoint, it's a little bit more experimental-ish. And I don't mean that like you hearing no like folk music or nothing like alternative and no shit like that. Like nah. But like if you know, like if you listen to Water Sports and then you listen to True Serum and then you listen to Romulus, you'd be like, okay, this is a little bit different. Like it's still him, but it's a little bit different. But it's like me trying to push the envelope on like my own sound. I think Water Sports was me finding finally who I was. I'd rather push stuff out before then. True Serum was me making a body of work, then encompassing that. And then Romulus is then me taking like, now that I found my game, how do I tweak it and how do I push it to its limits? Like, and I haven't reached its limits yet, but you know what I'm saying? Once you like I say, hoops again, like once you, anybody who's played basketball before, and you find your jumper or you find the way that you shoot, then you figure out, all right, I can shoot the J from here. Like, can I shoot it from this far back? Okay, if I can shoot it from here, can I shoot it from the wing? All right, I got a layup. Can I do a reverse? Like, you want to try like your game out in so many how many different ways can you score? And that's kind of where I'm thinking like mentality wise when it comes to Romulus. That was like, okay, I scored like this before. Can I score like that? So that's all it is. It's just having fun with it. I think recently, a lot of us, like back home in the game, we've been a great example of what it looks like to take your craft seriously, but also have fun with it at the same time. Like, where there's a lot of other stuff like that's moving around, and I'm not gonna hate on it. Like, I'll like get it how you live, and I love it. Like, but I feel like there's a lack of, I don't know, real love for the music and actually like just rocking with the music today. Like I feel like sometimes there's a lot of musicians out here that are chasing a hit, and instead of chasing a hit, they not really just making like what they know how to do. I think you think about like Wale was a good example, how like he got caught up listening to like what a lot of people said in the media. And it's like, bro, like you one of the greatest like MCs in the game, bro. Like don't even listen to them. Like do what you do best. And then he goes back to doing that and he's thriving. Like the man is thriving. Like,
You know what's the wildest part about him? I was actually thinking about this on my way back from the studio today. He is
yeah,
legitimately I would say this without a doubt, the king of urban radio. Any other time, any other year, probably every other year, you would have a #1 smash hit on the radio, like it is this year. And
yeah,
it's super automatic for a guy like that, which is like, He doesn't like make a lot of noise in terms of like I'm the best and I'm trying to reach number one. But he knows his lane. He stays in his lane and he eats off of his lane.
100%.
And I feel like guys like that are really necessary in the game. Whereas though, like you have your role players, just like in basketball.
Yeah, bro. Yes,
So,
your Lou Wills.
You can't have 5 Kobe Bryants. You need a Kobe. You need a Shaq. You need a Derek. You need people.
Yeah.
That it's very necessary to have people that knows what they do and how they do it well.
100%, bro. And like you said, it's no shade on nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. Everybody can't be LeBron and Kobe. But if you made it to the league, you better than the millions of other people that didn't make it to the league. I think what's the stat that there's 3,000 people that have been in the NBA. Like that's a small club of people that can say like I got to step on these courts. Like so the fact that you even in the league period is a testament to you being the shit. So yeah, it's definitely not a knock to Wale at all. But yeah, I'm just glad to see that man in stride and doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Tiger's another. I was actually just talking to my mans about I'm a Tiger fan. And I don't really think it's as much Tiger's fault as it is the label he was with. But we all know how that went with everybody on that label. But yo, he gets off of that and goes to good music, and the man gives you what 5 or 6 #1 hits back to back, like it was nothing, like it was
front
easy.
office,
like it was easy. They was just passing the rock, he was just cashing them shits, like. And before you know it, now he's back on top as one of the biggest names in rap right now. And
playing too.
Yeah, in his lane. And it's like it's something to be said about you being comfortable with who you are and doing what you do best. Like, don't try to hoop like that person over there. Hoop the way you know how to and then perfect that. And then if you do that, yo, people gonna come watch you play. Cause who can do it better than you? Like who can be you and do what you do better than you? And people gonna want to come see that. So I think a lot of the time people just get caught up in trying to hoop like everybody else when it's like if you play ball like yourself, you gonna be all right.
Everybody got their own jumper.
Yeah, everybody got their own jumper, bro.
Everybody got their own jumper.
100%.
Episode 1 of Inside the Rapper's Studio. Great conversation, great interview with my guest today, JerMari. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your day to answer all of these tough, hard-hitting TMZ questions. The one song I really wanted, first of all, the song that was playing during our conversation was W4. Since he brought up the producer, I figured how apropos. The next song I wanted to talk to you about is Stick to the Code, which was aforementioned earlier in the interview. Could you tell us how you got to making this song in detail?
I guess it, like I said, it really just came out of like a competitive mindset of like, you got to stick to the code of like yourself and like what you set for yourself. And it's like, you see other people around you balling and it's like, yo, damn, like shit, like I stopped, like I just put something out and I'm chilling and people still hooping around me. I need to get back on my shit. Like I need to stick to the code. Also in the sense of who the people you keep around you, like as you getting more and more successful in whatever you do and whatever passions you have or avenues you on, you got to keep people around you that's there for your success, or even if they are there for your success, people around you that are not going to pull you back. Like you got people that even want to see you succeed, but you got to like they got to see you succeed from a distance, because like if they too close to you, they just going to pull you back down to a place that you don't need to be in. So like Stick to the Code is also talking about the different types of people that you keep in your circle, specifically people who don't know how to stick to the code, period. Like I feel like, and I'm referencing the G code, and I feel like the G code can be applied to really any facet of life. Yeah, and it'll apply. Like, so I feel like if we just stick to the code of life and stick to the code of who you are, stick to the code of your friendships, your loyalties, your trust, again, not quitting, sticking to what you want to do and gain out of this world, I think you'll be all right. That's kind of ironic. message considering like moments right now, like what's going
And
on.
I brought it on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's kind of like, cause right now I'm kind of in a moment. Like I was talking to my homie the other day, and I had all these ways of like, yeah, how we can make stuff better. And then like 2 days after that, it was like, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like I feel like that shit would work, but like fuck it. Like I'm obviously not the first motherfucker to think that shit. Like in 2020, like I'm like, and it still ain't changed. So I kind of got a little bit of depressed a little bit. So I mean, sticking to the code, I guess, is a good message even now. Like understanding that like even in the adversity and tough times, you just you gotta stick. You can't roll over, man. You can't. That's why we out in the streets right now protesting, because we sticking to the code. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna roll over and fold on who we are as a people. Fuck that. Fuck that. Um, Matter of fact, I had to like, I don't know about you. We musicians, I had to get some of my feelings out on paper and stuff like that. With that, like, I got a little EP I might drop. I don't know if I might drop it. I made like 3 tracks, like based on like kind of the climate right now. But we'll see. We'll see. One of them kind of is, I don't know, bro. Like I got a weird feeling about like, putting stuff out when stuff is happening, because I feel like, yeah, it should be documented, but I feel weird because I don't want people to think like stuff like, oh, you just trying to like put stuff out and capitalize on the moment, and it's like you really not. I don't even want that stigma. So it's like sometimes I'll be like making shit and then I'll just keep it to myself. Like fuck it.
Do you feel as though a lot of the times when people avoid that, they avoid just that sentiment? Or I feel as though, me personally, I feel like everybody knows your heart. Or not everybody. Everybody doesn't know your heart, but
Yeah.
does. So I feel as though most of the times people really don't realize that when it comes to honest matters, you know yourself.
That's true.
Nobody knows you but you. So for you to like reach out and kind of like express yourself in this way, and not on top of that, this actually affects you. So it's kind of hard for like people to separate, you know what I'm saying, the art and the artist. Do you
Hmm.
feel in this matter, in this climate right now, it's hard to separate the two?
Um, yeah, I would say so. I think it's hard to I think even before this, we got examples of how it's hard to separate the two with the whole R. Kelly shit. Like, now, like ain't nobody playing R. Kelly.
So
like ain't no,
yeah,
I mean, some people are still playing R. Kelly, and like you can play him, but you like if you play him, like be prepared for some side eyes and people looking at you like, what the fuck?
there's
Yeah, there's the stigma that comes with it. So, and I think right now we in the same way. I think you got, let's use the black entertainer, for example. Like, you got a lot of people calling for the black celebrity to do something. And then the black celebrity doesn't do something and they get hemmed up for it. The black celebrity does do something and they may get praised for it, or they may do something and then get hemmed up for it too. Like I saw like the Ball family, like Lonzo, Leangelo, LaMelo, they had signs talking about like Black Lives Matter, going to the protests and stuff. And somebody was in the comments like, man, why are they protesting? Like they don't even know nothing about police brutality. Like what they know, they from Chino Hills. And it's like, yo, what? Like, so if they didn't protest, you'd have got mad at them. And then they do protest, and now you gonna talk some shit. Like, and I feel like you don't have to be 100% from a situation to want to support a cause. So like, just like wrong is wrong.
absolutely.
Like if I see something is wrong, I don't gotta get burned by fire to see over there that the shit is burning. Like I can still feel the heat of that shit and I know not to touch it. So you know it's wrong. Like, so when I see shit like that, it's like, and I think that ties in like where it's hard to separate the artist from the music in a time like this, because you got a lot of musicians who might want to say something and have fear of maybe saying something and getting crucified and make me and thinking that, all right, from what I say here is going to define how I'm moving on forward in life. Um, Freddie Gibbs dropped Alfredo during right now, and like I'm sure Freddie Gibbs thought in his head like, do I still drop this at this moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, will people call me insensitive to what's going on around me right now by me dropping my music? Does it look like I'm not helping out the cause? Like I'm sure there's a multiple of things that go swirling through his head, but at the same time, I think like you said, it just really comes down to your heart and your intentions. Like, and Freddie Gibbs, I think it's somebody who's shown that he's there for the culture 100%. So much so that I think hearing Freddie Gibbs' voice along with other musicians' voices in times like this is actually somewhat therapeutic. Um, so I think it just boils down to, what are your true intentions when you doing stuff like this as an artist in these type of turbulent times? Are you doing stuff for clicks and likes, or are you doing stuff because you truthfully feel a way and you need to express yourself in the only way that you know how?
Absolutely.
And like I said, hoopers hoop. Like, people who paint, they paint. Like, people who make music, like, and that is like as entertaining as it is for most people who are just listeners, for us a lot of the times it is something that is very, very personal, spiritual, and therapeutic, and just releasing. So it's like a lot of us might like, if you're a person like me, like I'm not a real personal person at all talking to you, but if you listen to my music, you might hear some shit like, damn, I ain't know that. Like just because it's just that much of my heart and who I am and my feelings as a person. So I feel like musicians shouldn't be afraid to express themselves, but I would just behoove them to question, where is the motive coming from when you making this? Is it making it because you're trying to make a buck or stay relevant? Or are you making it because you are trying to make some noise and push a movement that is bigger than yourself? Are you just trying to relay your own message and add your own brick to the movement that we trying to say right now? And that's really all it is. And people can smell the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can smell when it's bullshit, like from a mile away. From a mile away. Like, you come around here, especially black people, you come around us and talking about some, yeah, I want to see y'all move forward, kumbaya, all that shit. Like, we can tell if you really 100 with your shit or you faking. So, I feel like Doja Cat in the middle of that shit right now. Like
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even want to talk about her or any of her brand. I feel as though like I have a right to kind of like promote what I want to promote, and people like that I do not want to like put on the show.
Hey, say less, bro. I'm with it. Say less, brother. Say less.
All it was.
Say less, brother. Say less, brother.
Don't give the clown the circus. That's all.
Hell yeah. All right, what's next?
So basically, I'm gonna just give a few shout outs before we wrap up. Huge shouts out to Turfland. Huge shouts out to Yella Zaji. Huge shouts out to Baby Badu. Huge shouts out to Chris James. Who else we got in here? Ricochet Rock. Okay, we got DK in the building. Almighty Kevo, Gia Vega.
Yo.
Name, by the way. Nishi Beats. Noah. Shouts out Billy Bodine. Billy Bodine's in the building. All right. We got Asia Sierra. We got Imani Jolie. Man, it's a packed house. All right. Okay. Everybody make room.
I got some heads on here.
Absolutely. So, JerMari, any last words? Any last promotions? Any last propaganda for the people?
I don't really have anything to promote right now. I got some stuff in the works with a couple of different artists. Me and you gonna get some stuff in the works. We gonna get stuff.
All that theater shit. I was like, oh yeah, we're working.
Yo, we definitely gonna get stuff in the works. I got some music videos coming that I'm working on right now. I'm working on the Exxon music video, so that's about to drop soon. We actually got the last day of shooting is tomorrow. So we gonna knock that shit out. Shout out to my team, my man's Nick and my man's Brian. But yeah, that's the really only thing I got to plug in. Of course, I've been working on music. Like I said, I'm doing some features and some other stuff. I got some plans in the works. I'm gonna kind of chill out a little bit on. I'm not gonna put out another project just yet. So I feel like Water Sports is in September, and then I gave a little bit of time. I gave 3 singles. Then I did True Serum, and then Romulus. Like, I feel like I can like step back and let those breathe for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let them simmer for a little bit. But I'm gonna be around 100%. I'm gonna still be cooking up. You gonna hear me on like some other stuff. You gonna be like, oh snap! Like I ain't know Mari was featured on that jump. I definitely got like this is a little later down the road, but I got like a set of visuals that's gonna kind of tell a story that's coming up too. So yeah, we got stuff in the bank. We got stuff in the bank. So it's just not nothing. The only thing that's readily coming up right now is that Exxon music video. All the other stuff is a little bit further down the road. But I got stuff cooking.
So coming up next on Inside the Rapper Studio tomorrow, we have the most gracious man in the scene in Baltimore, period. Uncle Rusty will join us for a great interview. I'm actually excited. I'm, to be fair and to be frank, I wanted him for a Friday show because I wanted to show him that like he means a lot to me, so I could put him in like that like headline space. But for him to pretty much just like fill in for me like 24 hours in because Bobby couldn't make it for tomorrow, it's a huge blessing and a huge, huge thank you to Uncle Rusty. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So tomorrow we got Rusty in. We're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about the Trunks EP. We're going to talk about Bulma. We're also going to talk about him being the Switzerland of the King. So yeah, we got a very exciting interview for tomorrow. So from your host, Score F. Swayze, and our wonderful guest of episode 41, JerMari. Once again, this is Inside the Rapper Studio. And as always, wash your hands. Thanks, JerMari. Really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, Brody. Hit me up. We're gonna get that theater stuff pop.
Oh, absolutely. We got a few movies, trust me.
All right, hey, y'all have a good night.